Well, welcome back, knife lovers. OG Blades here. And OG Blades, as I've been telling you recently, is the new name for my old channel, This Old Sword Blade Reviews. So I'm now known as OG Blade Reviews. That's because I've got about 50 years into knife collecting, knife use, and knife appreciation. Maybe this is Knife Appreciation Day. It's going to be dropping on Memorial Day 2024, so happy Memorial Day. Hope you're doing good stuff, safe stuff, you're with the family, and that you are remembering your loved ones who may have served and are no longer with us. Memories to them. So, what have we got today? Well, I'm kind of excited about this knife because it's a bit different design for this designer. And yes, it is from Bestech knives. Some of my favorite designs coming from Bestech knives, such as this fellow. Look at this. Comes in a few different flavors, so if you don't like the blue, there are others. If you don't like the blade finish, I believe there are others. This is a knife by Kombou. That's Grzegorz Grabowski, and I have a hard time with that last name, but let me just bring him up here on the screen for you. There he is. That's Grzegorz. So Grzegorz Grabowski, a knife designer who's been making waves with his unique creations. This is from the Bestech webpage. You go out to Bestech Knives and you should be able to find that quite easily. Now, the name of this knife is the Razon, R-A-Z-O-N. And explanation for that, nearest I can tell, it is French for reason, okay? So we don't know his reason for designing this Razon, but it is in the Spanish Navaja tradition. And that is the tradition of the long-handled knives, some of them like a foot or more long altogether, with a horn handle, and carried by the Spanish gauchos, and also well known to be carried by the gypsies. And I understand there's some concern about that name, but it is a name that's used both in Italy and throughout Europe for nomadic people. And that's as far as I'll go because that's as much as I know. But it is very much in keeping with that design, with the long point. And this is coming up on 4 inches, a little less, and a belly, and yet a distinct point. Also, what makes this unique is I think it's one of the first Magnacut blades for Bestech, and I think it's one of the first for the designer Kombou. They did an interesting thing here that Todd Knife and Tool has done before in some of their designs, which is polished circumferences of the holes in the knives. So that's highly polished and shiny, and it's on both sides. I think on the Todd Knife and Tool designs, they weren't shiny on both sides. That's as much as I can remember on a few of theirs. It's a big knife. It's got a good inch left over in my hand, and we've got multiple ways to hold it. It can be held way back here, and it can be held up in the middle, and you can choke up and put the thumb on the back of the blade as we would in reinforced cutting in the Filipino tactical style of knife combat. We have a thick disc on the top. In some early videos that I put out on Instagram, there was a few people that said they loved everything about the knife except the thumb disc. I kind of like it because it's very industrial. It's got some interesting machining on it and knurling around the circumference there. It's held on by one screw, so should you want to remove it, you can. that would leave you to open it with a wrist flick or with, pinching the blade or something like that. Speaking of handling the blade, this finish, and one on another Bestech I'll show you, this finish is a huge fingerprint magnet. I have had more difficulty removing oils and fingerprints from this particular brushed satin finish than almost any other. Don't know what it is about the way they do their brushed satin. It looks beautiful, but it does pick up oils and fingerprints. So, where are we here? Where are we? I know I got a tape measure around somewhere, folks. Oh yeah, it's on the wrong side of the table. Who put it there? Who could have put it there? None other than me. Tip to stern, 8 3/4, close enough. And the blade right to that foremost point, we're going to call it 3.9. I think they may be calling it 3.8 or something. Same thing, 3.9 of cutting edge. So same cutting edge as blade length. And some thicknesses in inches. Fairly thin handle, 0.46. That's thin for a big knife. 0.14 for the blade thickness, and in millimeters, 3.6 millimeters. So no slouch in the blade stock department, but not like a crazy 4 or 5 millimeters or anything like that. Weight in ounces, 4.1 ounces. Not bad. I would say almost an ounce per inch, right? Almost an ounce per inch if we're going down that road with that particular description of knives. Interesting in this position, really doesn't feel or look as large as it really is. For an almost 9-inch knife with an almost 4-inch blade, it's quite light. Basically due to the titanium and all of that skeletonization work there, those 3 holes. We have no other skeletonization. Oh, I spoke too soon. I did speak too soon. Where is my little flashlight? Where are you, little flashlight? Yeah, there you go. There is further milling in several pockets, like 4 pockets inside there on both sides. So further weight reduction, making it even lighter than it would have been. Maybe it'd be closer to 5 ounces, I don't know, without the holes and without the interior milling. So as I said, Magnacut on this one. Sorry, they did not list the HRC, but they might in the future. If you look it up and find out, let me know. I know that's a big thing with both M390 and Magnacut. Is great to have those steel mixes there, but is it hard enough to make it worth being Magnacut or being M390, etc.? Don't know in this case. Should be up around 62 at least, so I'm told. I think Laren Thomas has said 62 to 64 is where Magnacut should be. And he, of course, is the chief metallurgist for us knife collectors, I would say. Knife Nerds is his channel and his website. Some compares. The compare you're all going to want me to do, because this is Navaja styled, is this beautiful guy right here, made by Beyond EDC and designed by Dirk Pinkerton. And I'm just going to let the handle stick out there and let you decide for yourself. Look at that. We've got about 2 inches more handle. That means 2 inches more overall length as well, with a blade slightly longer as well, maybe a 1/2 inch longer. So we got over a 4-inch blade here, maybe 4 1/4, 4 1/2, and we've got just slightly under 4 inches on the Razon. Razon is a taller blade with probably more cutting power, more slashing power, but with about the same amount of piercing, I would say. We've got the belly on this Night Horse, and I'm sorry I forgot to mention the name, Night Horse by Beyond EDC and designed by Dirk Pinkerton, has a forward belly in this steep upward radical angle to the point, a longer swedge, and certainly a longer handle that I like because it is textured, it's milled out. Well, folks, we had a little break in the video there, and that's because yours truly let the batteries go dead on his microphone. So we're going to pick up right about here where I was talking about some of this nice millwork on the Night Horse designed by Dirk Pinkerton. I really love it. It's also a slim handle, got a lot of grippiness there. We've got jimping here on this one that we don't find on the Razon, but we do have that thumb stud on the Razon that gives you a little bit of purchase with the thumb there and kind of gives you an anchor point where you know your thumb is there. This is, by the way, a very ergonomic and comfortable knife. It kind of melts into the hand. You know, he did follow that direction on the, Kombou did, on the overall design of a Navaja styled knife. Now let me bring out one more designed by Kombou. This is the Fairchild for Bestech as well. This is S35VN and not Magnacut. Came out a while ago, a couple of years maybe. Got the same belt satin finish on there, same difficulty in keeping it clean, clear of fingerprints. So if you need a showpiece, you're probably going to want to wear the gloves when you bring this one out, you know, and the Razon, who knows. But I brought it out because we've got the same type of construction. We've got that smooth anodized aluminum, not aluminum, titanium. Got the same sort of grind on the finish. A little taller blade here, much taller blade actually, and a little bit longer overall. Good amount, maybe 1.25 inches longer overall, with an opening hole instead of the thumb stud. That is the Fairchild. Nice jimping on that. And did a few things on this one that maybe didn't get to on the Razon, but yeah, the Razon is its own knife. You know, every style a little bit different. I'm fishing for some paper here, and hopefully I don't lose sound again. Let's see what we've got for an edge on the Razon. If there's a reason to buy the Razon, oh man. Oh, that's a slicing machine. High flat grind, little bit of a swedge there, and ergonomic. You may like this in a less fancy version, and they do make them. I think, if I didn't mention it already, this came from White Mountain Knives. And you can use my discount code Old Sword still, that's the old one, or you can use OG-Blade. That's my new one. Either one will give you 10% off your total purchase. Finally, for compare, Ontario Rat one. And if I had already stuck this in the video, my apologies. I may have already forgotten. Same length knife, with the Razon being about a 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch longer, something like that. Certainly you're paying less for this one. Speaking of which, I think this is coming in around $268, something like that. Actually not bad for a Magnacut knife from this designer and from Bestech. So you may want to grab one. You may like it in another handle color. I will give you all the links that you should need. And don't forget to give this video a big like and subscribe. Almost up to 10,000 subscribers. When I hit that point, I'm going to have a massive giveaway. Got lots of knives I've been hoarding that I would like to send your way to a lucky winner or winners. We'll figure that out as we get closer to that particular event. Well, listen, you all be well, and don't forget to give it a like. Yeah, I said that, didn't I? And subscribe, you guys. Subscribe. Take care. Be back with you soon. OG Blades here.